victory.
Alright, welcome back to yet another review on Hapes O Games, and today I'm covering Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. So maybe to put a little bit of context first before we get into the detail of the review, most people know the classics like Mortal Kombat on the 360, recently Mortal Kombat 11, and of course the absolute classic Mortal Kombat 3. Shaolin Monks seems to be a little lesser known title, and I really want to cover the pros and cons specifically of that game. I've always had a fascination with these beat-em-up hybrids that include light RPG elements, so I was really glad to know that there was an actual Mortal Kombat game made specifically in this way, and also a full co-op experience too. I think the closest comparisons I can give to Shaolin Monks is probably Final Fight Streetwise on the original Xbox, and also The Warriors, which is an absolute classic from Rockstar Games. So in Shaolin Monks, the story focuses on Liu Kang and Kung Lao, and you can pick either one of if you're playing in single player mode, or in co-op you can do one or the other. Now, as I mentioned previously, at its core this is a beat 'em up / RPG light hybrid where you can upgrade your character as you gain more experience, and then the level structure itself are various areas from the games and movies, in particular in and around maybe the 95 movie where you see the monastery, and then you get to a portal area and that allows you to travel to the outworld. This game actually is a retelling of Mortal Kombat 2, the game technically speaking, so the story beats follow a similar flow. So from a gameplay perspective, obviously Mortal Kombat, the majority of the games are 3D on a 2D plane. This is really the first game that I have played where it's been 3D in a 3D space. It works really well. Liu Kang, for example, has all his signature moves. The game even lets you do brutalities, fatalities, and it also allows you to go into a form of rage mode, which is extremely fun when you do it. Now, what I like about the fatalities in this game is they're not that complex to pull off. You can quickly check the menus, and they normally only take about 5 button presses, and I suppose when I've always played the normal fighter games, the Mortal Kombat fighter games, I've struggled a lot of the times to pull off fatalities because some of the button combinations can be absolutely crazy. So I really like the idea that they have made them less complex in this in order to pull them off. Fatality. And on the note, I suppose, of fatalities, violence in general, the game doesn't skimp out at all. It's got its signature violence from all the Mortal Kombat games essentially here. Absolutely nothing is watered down here. Tons of gore and blood. And in fairness, it's not just violence for the sake of violence. They actually incorporated with some of the gameplay elements. As one example in this scenario here, you have to do an uppercut to one of the guys to actually latch him onto the hooks in order to progress to this area. So, as I said, they built it into kind of the puzzle elements of the game. The game also allows you to pick up weapons, which are incredibly fun to use and, as you'd expect, incredibly gory. Now, there are one or two gripes I have with this game. I think first and foremost it's the platforming segments. I wasn't a big fan. It has a lot of pitfalls and insta-deaths. So yeah, not my most favourite parts. The camera angles can be a little bit weird too. Now, you can change your camera angle by clicking in the analog stick, but I found at times that it was hard to know where exactly my character was landing on any particular platform. It also has these button mashing mini games that, to be honest with you, since Metal Gear Solid, I can't stand them. You literally have to just grab your controller and hammer the A button as quick as you can. Not the biggest fan of these either. I know the test your might thing is part of Mortal Kombat, so I think genuine fans of Mortal Kombat will like the idea of putting that in here, but I just didn't particularly enjoy them. Again, some frustrating, at times, sections in regards kind of environmental traps and stuff like that. I felt more that I just wanted to get past them, but what they do is at least they break up the gameplay. It's not just core combat. There is a lot of other gameplay elements, so maybe some people might like these segments. I wasn't a particularly big fan. The last maybe little gripe I have is there are some difficulty spikes in this game at particular points in time. There is one boss in particular that had me drove mental. I think it was about 3 hours into the game. It's a really, really tough boss. And I hope that if people do play that they try and get past that boss, because after that boss, I found it leveled off somewhat. and it was much more balanced. But yeah, I did find a particular issue with one individual boss that I was raging over. I think it took me about 12 tries, and there's like 3 stages to the boss, and if you die you have to go back to the very first stage. So at times, just be warned that this game can be extremely difficult, and it spikes. As I said, it doesn't seem to be difficult leading up to the boss, and then all of a sudden, bang, this guy is driving me insane. Anyway, overall though, this game is incredibly fun, and an actual incredibly fun co-op. Unfortunately, I couldn't show any co-op footage, but I have played this in co-op before with my pals. Couldn't get anybody around to play at the moment, but the footage I've taken is from single player only. But don't forget that co-op is excellent too. Overall, if you can get this on the cheap, well worth it, guys. Let me know if you've played Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks down in the comments, or what's your favorite Mortal Kombat game. I'd love to hear. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you've seen, please consider supporting my channel by subscribing and liking this video. It really helps me. And yeah, that's it for another review. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fatality.